Hi, everybody. I'm actually kind of excited to talk to you about some of the new updates that are coming in the QuickBooks Online reporting system. Now, in my QuickBooks, they've added these features for me early August. Most users will have access to this by the end of August, beginning of September, so be patient. You might not see this in your file right away, but it's coming soon. Let me start by going into a standard report. I'm just going to go into a profit and loss. And before talking about some of the more obvious features, I want to talk about a major infrastructure change that they did on the reports. When I first run my report, I have my default settings in which I want the report to look like, and I have my default parameters. But let's say, for example, I want to edit the report. I want to change this from cash to accrual. I want to change the columns to, let's say, by class. I want to change the reporting period to last year, okay? Last fiscal year, whatever it is, right? So I'm making changes. I'm editing things in the report. Let's say I want to make this collapse, whatever it is. So I'm making changes, and then for whatever reason, I make a mistake and I navigate out of this report. So let's say I went in there and I wanted to see some bank transactions, and then I thought, whoops, I actually didn't want to lose that report because I was in the middle of customizing it, and I never saved the report as a template. What's really cool is if you navigate through the back and forward button, it will pull up the original URL that you were working with. It actually creates a unique instance ID, which actually knows that that report that you were working on, you were making changes and edits, and it remembers the change and edit you made to that report until you log out. So you essentially won't be losing your edits even if you forgot to save it. Now you can always save the report, go to Save As, and create your save report template. And then you don't have to worry about losing it because it will be saved as a template. But while you're doing the edits, this used to happen very, very often where you're making changes and by mistake you get out of it and then you lose all the work that you were doing. So I really, really love that they made that infrastructure change. Now, if I just go back to my regular reports and then create a new profit and loss from scratch, everything gets reset back to the default. Now, let's talk about visuals, okay? So right now I have these funky pink visuals here. When you click on the gear menu and then go into default report settings, this is where you can change how you want the report to look. So let's say by default, I want my banded rows to be gray. And then maybe I want the grid lines to show. Let's say I want to see grid lines all over. So let's say in inner borders, okay, and you get to see a preview exactly of what that's going to look like. Let's say, for example, the empty cells, I want them to be blank and not dashes, so you get the option there. Let's say I want to highlight a particular column. This is actually usually not useful at all, but it's there. I want to change what's in the footer. Okay, again, this is the default settings. The header, I want to flip to put the company name first and the report name second, so I can do that. So once I click on save, next time I go and generate a report from scratch, not the report I'm customizing at the moment, but if I have not happen to be in a report and I go create a report from scratch, my report now goes under the new visual scheme. That's an update that they did a couple of months ago, but there's a reason why I'm pointing it out is because they added a new shortcut to access that, and so to get more people to use those options. Now, one awesome thing that they added, which again, you might not have this file yet until the end of August or beginning of September, is a complete redesign, a simplification of the customized sidebar. So when I click on customize, what you may notice compared to the old one is that it takes a full screen, the entire browser page. So now we get a lot more real estate to work with, which also means we have bigger font size. So that's the key. The other key is that all the areas are automatically expanded. So with the old design, which looked different, but the subsections were all collapsed and it was like difficult to know exactly where you needed to go to do your thing. So by having everything expanded from the beginning, especially on this area here called show non-zero or active, which is an area that I go to a lot, where I want to hide all the rows that don't have that are not a zero. or hide all the rows that have zero. So I show all the ones only have numbers. That's an area that I go to a lot. So I like the fact that it's front and center. The other really cool thing is if I'm running any filters. So for example, if I want to filter by customer and I wanted to remove a couple of customers from the transactions that are shown in the report, when I click on the drop-down menu, before I had to go select one by one and omit the customers that I didn't want to see. Now there's a all button where you can select all the customers or all the accounts or all the whatever filter you're running, and then you can manually hand choose the customers that you don't want to see. So that actually allows you to, again, kind of go a backwards approach and remove anything from your filtering list. And also, if you wanted to hide all the entities that you haven't selected, just click on Show Selected, and it'll hide the ones that you omitted. So when I click on Apply Changes, it runs a filter, applies a filter, and that applies. So that's pretty evident in there. Now, I was showing you the reporting defaults, the visuals. Here on the visual, they added a shortcut to that. So if I click on that, it takes me straight into that area, so I don't have to remember where to go in the settings to do that. And I can X out and get back to my report. Now, if I click on Customize and go back into Visual, I just want to show you the options to change whether the company name or the report name is first. That's here, front and center. All the other stuff that was in that default area, such as where you want to see the grid lines or where you don't, that's all available right here. Now, another kind of a hidden thing that they added is you can now change the company name simply by clicking on a pencil next to the company name. So if I wanted to call this Hector Corp or whatever, I can do that on the fly, change the company name in my report. For whatever motivation or purpose you have to do that, you can do that. Now, the other awesome thing to talk about is in the drill down reports. So if I went to see any detail report, or for example, drill down on the profit and loss report, they added a couple of small little things here that are actually really powerful. The first really powerful thing they added is your ability to resort the columns on the fly. So if I wanted name to be first, I can click and drag this all the way to the left, and then I have name first. If I want balance to go away, I can click on the three little dots that are there and click on hide column. Okay, and to be clear, this functionality already existed, but it was tucked in under customize. So if I click on customize, I had to go down into reorder, and then I had to click and drag it from here to choose the order that I want. Let's say, for example, I want amount to be the second one. Click on apply changes, and that is actually the same thing as me clicking and dragging live in here. I find this to be a really powerful one. There's also three little dots next to each one where you can pick if you want to sort by ascending, descending, by default, and the hide column button that we talk about. There's also the sorting button here that you can click and you can toggle. So you have the toggle, which is ascending, descending, and default, ascending, descending, and default, or click on the drop-down menu and pick the one that you want. So you have the ability to hide, resize columns all through here. The last little tiny thing I want to show, this actually was a personal request I asked the Intuit team to do, which is to add a column. I'm going to go all the way down here, a new column called Transaction ID. This to me is really important because sometimes I'm looking at a bunch of transactions and I'm going to click and drag this transaction ID and put it all the way to the left here. Sometimes I want to see, because if I'm looking at a report, I see multiple lines. It's not always obvious to me that the two lines I'm looking at are from the same exact transaction, right? Like I would have to go make sure they have a transaction number. Like this one does have a transaction number, but not all transactions have transaction number. So by having the transaction ID here, this is an internal number, this is a database number. But by having the transaction ID, I know that these two lines are from the same transaction. Also, what's useful about it is when I click on the transaction to preview it, I know that this is the transaction ID that's going to show up here in the URL. So if for whatever reason I wanted to know the direct URL to get to that transaction, I would know in theory by knowing that transaction ID. Again, it's more of a nerdy little thing, but for me and the activities that I do, it becomes very useful, especially if you are gonna export this into Excel and do some other interesting things, you may want to know whether, more than one line belongs to the same transaction. So I hope you find these useful and you get them in your QuickBooks file quickly. I would love to know in your comments, is this stuff powerful? Does it change your mind about reports? Like, do you feel more excited about the new modern reports infrastructure inside QuickBooks Online? Let me know in your comments, and I'll see you in the next one.